guys, thanks for joining me once again on my channel, Lulu Loves to Live. Today I'll be talking about taking my COVID-19 vaccine, why I decided to do it, and what has the effect been thus far on my body. So on Monday, the 3rd of May, I made an appointment to have my vaccine. I was given two alternatives. One day to go in around the Savannah, the Queen's Park Savannah, and another if I wanted to go to Barataria Health Center. I opted for Barataria Health Center for many reasons. One, it's closer to where I live, it was more convenient, and I knew I would get easy parking there. I was told by the following day, I was called the following day and told that the vaccine was being postponed. So I asked the rep if there was a reason, and she said no, we were just told to call persons and postpone the vaccine. Later in the evening, I heard on the news that we were out of vaccines. So fine. About the 17th of May, I was called again and said, okay, you can now come in for your vaccine on Friday, the 21st of May at the Barataria Health Center. They told me what paperwork I should walk with, which was my immunization record, my ID card, and any evidence of having a comorbidity, since at this time the only persons being vaccinated are those who are over 60 or with comorbidities. Now, this isn't necessarily the case because I know of some persons who do not necessarily have comorbidities but have been fortunate enough to be vaccinated. Anyway, so my husband and I set out and we went to Barataria on Friday for 2 o'clock. Now, the reason why I decided to get vaccinated, I did my research and I understood that some protection is better than none at all. And the numbers in Trinidad and Tobago over the past few weeks have grown astronomically. In one day we had 708 cases, sometimes 500 cases. And not only are the number of cases growing rapidly, but the death rate is staggering and frightening. So I said, look, if I could give myself a fighting chance to at least be vaccinated and an 80% chance of survival if I do get the virus, then why not take it? So we went to the health center. We had to wash our hands. Even though you have your own sanitizer, they don't want you to use it. They say you have to wash your hands. Washed hands, took temperatures, had a seat in a designated area because where we were supposed to go was full. It was a tent under which they were placing persons where they had to fill out a form. So I asked the lady, okay, so I gave her my ID and I said, do you want anything else? She was like, no. I was like, okay. I thought you had to prove that you had something, you know. She's like, no. But this was my experience. Another day for someone else, they may not meet the same person and may have to provide more evidence or more documentation. So we sat, we waited, and after we were called under the tent, there we were given two forms to fill out, well, a form each. Basically, they required data, your name, date of birth, address, ID number, ID type, if you're allergic to seafood, shellfish, etc. Now, throughout the process, they kept asking us, how are you feeling today? Do you have any symptoms of any flu-like symptoms? To which the response was no. Because once you have flu-like symptoms, I don't think they would give you the vaccine. You would have to probably be tested first. So we sat under the tent. Now, our appointment was for 2. We got there at 5 minutes to 2. But by the time we got under the tent, it was about 2:35, heading to 2:40. Once we did the forms, we were then ushered inside in about a 10-minute time frame, and they took our pressure, recorded it on the documents, and we had to sit and move in a line accordingly. Now, they said they're sanitizing after everybody gets up, but that wasn't really happening. I usually walk with my beep and spray anywhere I'm going to sit, but that day I just happened to forget it in the car. So I just had to roll with the punches because they say if you go outside, you have to come and wash again. I didn't want to go through that. So we kept moving. Instead of standing in a line, we were sitting in a line. So as soon as one person moved forward, we all had to move forward until it was our turns individually to go in to get the injection. So injection room now. Girl. Now, giving blood, very easy for me. My veins pop up pretty easily. I give it blood from here or from here. I don't feel a thing. I love to give blood. But vaccines, different on your hand and so on. So I went in, and the person who was attending to me, she was very nice. She asked again, how am I feeling? You know, and she basically got asked all the questions on the form to ensure, and then asked at the end, so I have your consent to administer this vaccine? And I said, yes, you do. So time to sit in the chair now to get the vaccine. So the girl started to rub her hand. The woman said, no, 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 don't rub your hand. So if you're going to take the vaccine, don't rub up your hand, because I guess it, irritates the area and may make it more painful. So this lovely nurse came, and she was mature, and all I felt was her putting on, the little tape with the cotton. I said, you gave me the vaccine already? She said, yeah. I did not feel a thing. It's the first time in my life I was given a vaccine and did not feel anything. So I got it, and then they gave me a sticker, which I would insert here, a really nice sticker to show that, you got your vaccine. So my husband came in after he got his vaccine done, and we were both told to wait in this area for about 20 minutes to see if there was any immediate adverse reaction. So we sat, we waited. In the meanwhile, you're a little bored, so he was looking through his phone and showing me some pictures he took of Makai that I didn't see as yet. So I said, scoot over, let me share and watch your pictures. He came across a little bit, and the nurse came and said, I know you're a couple, but he cannot come so close to you. He has to move back his chair. So I go, all right, fine. We'll see the pictures after. We sat there, then a nurse came. She asked, how are you feeling now? Are you feeling any way different to when you came in? And I was like, no. He was like, no. She confirmed when we're going to get our next vaccine. Now, this is a very interesting part, because for persons who took AstraZeneca, they have an 8-week wait period to have their second shot. But with Sinopharm, which is the one we took, which is the Chinese vaccine, we have a 3-week wait period, which I preferred. It's like, I don't want to wait a whole 8 weeks. I just think get it over with. Make sure we have, of course, the 2 doses. Get that done. Now, one thing to note, they told us to work with our immunization records. I have 2 cards, one from a baby and one from when I went into UE. So I worked with them, and the woman said no, she doesn't want them because you have to have enough space in the 2 cards for the 2 vaccines. She didn't want there to not be enough space, so she didn't even want to use mine. So they gave us new cards, which I had no problem with. So don't kill out yourself if you can't find your immunization record. They will give you a new card. So we got in our car after they let us go, and we drove off feeling good. I called a friend of mine, and I said, girl, I just get the vaccine. She said, good. Now you need to load up on medication and vitamin C, especially to build your immune system over the next few days. Now, this is an important point to note. When I told a colleague of mine at work I was going to take the vaccine, he said, well, I hope you take your paracetamol first, because my cousin is a nurse in England, and she said, you need to take that first so that, when the symptoms try to come, it will subdue them. But my doctor here in Trinidad said, don't take anything first, because you want your body to build the fight and the resistance so that it can build the antibodies. So if you tell your body in advance, look, you're going to get a cold, so take all this medication, it would defeat the purpose. I went with what she said, and I waited for myself to see how I would react, how my body would react. Because I know persons who took AstraZeneca and they got the whole hog. The fever, the cold sweats, the body chills, coughing, like if they got the virus. So on my way up the road, I went to a pharmacy and I got vitamin C chewables, Redoxon, and I like Panadol multi-symptom for if I do get a cold, but the pharmacist said Panadol pain and Panadol Ultra, or the one for pain and fever, extra strength. She said that's the one to get if you have these bodily pains. So I got a box of that as well and came home. I took the vitamin C on day 1. So Friday, 21st May is when we got the shot. I came home that day. I took 2 vitamin C 500 milligram chewables. The next day, I took this same dose 3 times, and I sneezed once. I had a very slight runny nose just after the sneeze, nothing of count. And today is Sunday, and I still have had no severe symptoms. I do not know if by tomorrow something will happen, but I will definitely keep you all updated, especially after my second dose of or the vaccine on the 11th of June. So far, I'm doing well. I'm doing fine. My husband didn't take any vitamin C, and he has had no symptoms as well. And all I know is that, we're hoping and praying for the best that we actually don't contract it to try to prove whether the vaccine works or not. We're trying to be very careful. We know a lot of persons who don't even know how they got it. There are theories about it being airborne. There are theories about the ease of transmission, what variant is present, and so on. But I just hope that the virus really abates in our country, in the world, and that everybody takes as many precautions as possible, follow all the COVID-19 protocols, and so that we all emerge from this a stronger, better, happier society. So thanks again for joining me, and I'll be sure to keep you all updated when I get my second shot. Go out there and get your vaccines. Can't go wrong. Thanks, and see you another time. Bye.